To all my fellow Americans, my hair is wild right now, but let's not focus on that. Let's get something straight. Someone who's racist, you know, I would say to be a racist, it takes some commitment to that ideology, right? Take some full-blown commitment to be a racist. I don't think you can be a halfway in, halfway out racist, okay? With that being said, Charlie Kirk was not racist. He was not. And I say that to say this, he's nowhere near as racist as the Jewish people that run our civility. You know, the ones that are supposedly the chosen ones, the chosen people of God, for they can do no wrong. Yeah, those people. See, they want to divide and conquer us. For our fight is with the global elites. It is not amongst each other. Let me repeat that one more time for everyone listening. Our fight is not amongst each other as Americans. It is amongst us and the global elitists that run our media, our finances, and our politics. They run everything. They run everything. Now you ask me why the Jews are even relevant in that. Well, I can tell you, as if you don't already know. AIPAC. Let's look at AIPAC. Let's look at the number of broadcast stations in America that are funded, ran, and literally conducted by the Jewish-Israeli agenda. See, if we understand that the fact remains that we have more numbers within us than the number of global elitists, what would their intentional strategy be other than divide and conquer? Divide and conquer, folks. It's a real thing. If we have more numbers and we were united, will we not pose more of a threat to them? I think it's obvious we would, right? We would. So what would they intentionally like to do to ensure they had the wiggle room to pull off exactly what they're pulling off? I don't know. Maybe a country divided that takes away half of what a full body of people uniting could do. I'm sorry if you disagree with me, but I'm also not. Charlie Kirk was not a racist person. Did he say ignorant things sometimes? Yes. As has everybody said some ignorant things before. Let's not get it confused. People have said ignorant things. And I also don't want you to get it confused that the road to hell was paved with good intentions. I understand all this. But you know what is different from me than what you would get from any other source of news? Is that I'm well cultured. I've walked with everybody. In fact, if you just took a minute to research me and look at what I've said, what I'm about, you'll realize that I've actually took on literally the responsibility of walking with all cultures, in which I have. I've lived in the ghetto. amongst nothing but black people, in which will probably make up about 80 to 85% of my closest friends, the black population. I have lived with an Hispanic family in Arizona, Tucson, Arizona. Shout out Chris, Venezuela. I lived with them for about 3 months, absorbed their culture. I was born middle class to a middle class white woman that was a teacher. Lived that life. I have some great Muslim friends. I will say that I cannot say that I have one actual Jewish friend. That is not to say anything about what I'm saying. It's just the brutal reality of it. I don't. Have I spoken with Jewish people though? Yes. I'm in the music industry. Of course I have. Of course I have. Which is why I can tell you that Kanye West told no lies. You might not like it. And I know who runs YouTube. Leor Cohen, shout out to you. You are the one in charge of the music department of YouTube. You're also the same person who was noticed as saying on The Breakfast Club with Charlemagne the God, DJ Envy, and Angela Yee at the time, as saying you were on the golf course and there was a bunch of dentists, doctors, etc., other people that were talking about how they made their fortune. Yet you said this very proudly with your hands in the air. I made my money off sucker MCs. Why'd you say it like that? Why'd you say it like that? If it weren't to be condescending. Because that's what it seemed to be, is that it seemed to be condescending. I made my money off sucker MCs. As if, okay, they worked hard, went out, gained this education, did all their work to get their money right. But you just so happen to make your fortune off of sucker MCs. You know what, folks? Do you not find it ironic that the same people that own all of these media conglomerations, they own all the record labels, they own all the private prison systems too? So let's take into consideration what happened with drill music, which was a music confounded upon the publication and push based upon a theory of if it bleeds, it leads, right? There's people wiping out each other in Chicago. And amongst those, it is a lot of black on black crime. These are not a perpetuation of the facts, but merely a statement of the facts. And guess what these record labels did? They not only pushed it, but they also continue to invest in private prison systems, and they continue to start something new, which is take out life insurance policies on drill rappers. Let's think about this. How much money, how much money do they make in the posthumous selling of records? That means when an artist dies, how much do streams go up? If they go to jail, do they not make money on the back end off of their private prison systems and what they invested in? They do. If they die, guess what? They win via insurance policy. But what else? The posthumous selling of their records. They've won on like 4 fronts. And this is one group of people, folks. They're all Jewish. These aren't Christians that run these record labels. Are they? If so, tell me who. Tell me who. And I notice, I know I'm shadow banned and I can see the numbers right now in front of my face drop off as I talk about this. So where can we really talk about this? If they're controlling everything, when do we wake up? When do we wake up and realize what the fuck's going on? I posted a video of Charlie Kirk. And, the narrative is that he was racist, right? Charlie Kirk was just a racist who wanted to push his narrative, right? Okay.
Saving myself. I really don't appreciate.
My wife joins us, Erica Kirk, the beautiful.
Saving myself. I really don't appreciate the ability to debate with you, man.
I want you to think about what I asked you.
Okay, you mind if I have a hat?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Great points. I would say that I.
Saving myself. I really don't appreciate the ability to debate with you, man.
I want you to think about what I asked you.
Okay, you mind if I have a hat?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Great points. I would say that I am with you for the idea of a colorblind society. I think it's a bit of a farce to say that colorblind society is something we should aspire to, but I think it's a farce to think that it doesn't exist, that race doesn't play a factor.
Totally agree.
Okay.
Yeah, you're black, but it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. It's not the most important thing. Instead, it's, are you a good person? How do you act? How do you treat other people? Are you a Christian? What is your worldview? I want to get back to that. Of course, we're still going to see differences, right, but I want to de-emphasize them to a place where we look at each other as fellow human beings and fellow American citizens. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, can I get a hat?
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Thankfully, I was raised away from all that, 2 loving parents.
And that's the greatest thing that you're, one of the, if not the greatest. And that's my hope for every child, black, white, or Asian, to have 2 parents. That is a ticket to success. Please continue. But here's something I will encourage you to do as a Christian. Care less about people's shared racial experience and look at them instead of just as their soul as God made them. We should try to strive towards a blinder race nation, not one that talks about skin color all the time.
I agree 100%.
And I think, where's my brother up here? Where's my man? Look at him. You gotta come up here. Come up here. Come up here. Come up here. Get over the gate. Come over the gate. Look at this guy here. Look at this. Yeah. Right to the mic.
You stand for me, we good.
Wait, I only stand up for white. What, is that a white man? Can you look at him, please? Look at him. Is that a white man? Is that a white man? You said I only stand up for white men. He's got dreads. Instead of just looking at everything in the past that's wrong and bad through a victim lens. Say, you know what?
It's still going on. Okay.
One sec. Say, you know what? I'm an American, and I'm going to use my mental energy to say, despite all of that, I get to succeed and flourish and prosper as a black American at the University of Tennessee. You are a living embodiment, Gigi, that you can still succeed as a black individual. Because I look at you not as a black guy, but as a human being made in the image of God, and I want to know what you bring to the table. Are you good at the job?
Saving myself. I really don't appreciate the ability to debate.
Now, folks, I ask you, does that seem like a racist to you? Because in my view, it takes a certain level of commitment to be a racist. If you're a racist, that means you literally only think about your race and what it has to gain, benefit, etc. That's not what is reflected to me. Now, I'll grant you, do people sometimes make ignorant statements? Of course they do. Of course they do. And what Charlie Kirk merely has done is he's made a few ignorant statements. He's not perfect, nor did he claim to be. Nor do any of us claim to be perfect. In fact, we like to reach out to the excuse that we're not perfect. Don't we? Folks, if you cannot tell that there is a intention amongst bad actors that aren't even within our society and their interference and influence, then you're crazy. They would like us to divide. In fact, they would love that more than anything else, because then we do become conquerable. We do. If we're divided, it's going to be so easy for them to prey amongst one side. And look at how many people I have watching this, and look at how many subscribers I actually have. And can you not tell that there is a suppression of this sort of rhetoric? Tucker Carlson's trying it. Candace Owens. She's black, folks. There's not. This racism problem is being, literally, it is being weaponized, folks. It's being weaponized because I think that, you know what? There are ignorant people in society. We will never be able to get rid of those. Okay, folks, we have to live with them. They troll the internet. They do all of these destructive things based on ignorance. But see, what y'all don't realize about me is I don't take from one source of media. I don't take from one ideology. I research everything. And a book that I will encourage you to read is by Minister Louis Farrakhan. It is The Secret Relationship Between Jews and Black People. Go read it. Go read it. If you want to find who the true enemy is. We all know it. We all know it. They run our media. They run everything we think about. At what point do you have the realization of to what extent are my thoughts actually my thoughts? Or are they some indoctrination of other people's beliefs manipulated for me to believe in? Folks, I have done the research so you don't have to. I know everybody's busy with their lives. But you know what's funny? Is the same reason that Adolf was angry and had to defend his people are the same reasons that we have inflation, that we can't pay our prices. Just think economically from an economic standpoint. If we didn't give billions of dollars to Israel to fucking fund their warfare amongst other nations just based on the premise that they think they might attack them. Just based on that premise, Qatar has not attacked Israel. I repeat that again. Qatar did not attack Israel. Israel attacked them. They attacked Syria. They're attacking everybody. Iran, everyone. Where do you think this leads to? Do you think they care about us as Americans? Fuck no. Or else they quit dragging us into shit. What happens when we have to now fight because they've done pissed off? Look on the map. Look on the map at Israel and look at the neighbors, their massive amount of neighbors, their populations, and who they are. The reason they have not been annihilated is through our tax dollars, folks. Israel has not been annihilated by the people that should have their own justice against them. They have not done it because of us. But what happens when they quit giving a fuck about us? When they quit giving a fuck because they're tired of their people getting massacred? What happens when they do that? You know what? Your brother, your whoever, your family member will be dragged into a war to defend these people who could give a fuck less about us. And if you think they give a fuck about us, show me the proof. Show me the evidence that Israel gives a fuck about America. I'm upset because I see where this is going. When Iran, Pakistan, and all of those countries decide they're fed up with how Israel acts roguishly amongst their nations, amongst the Middle East, who are they going to drag into this to save them? Us! Americans! And to think we are a nation of Christians, to think that you could get our whole military behind genociding a country that's done nothing to us. Nothing to us. We're going to be able to logically explain that. We become part of the evil, folks. It's sad. It's sad. Benjamin Netanyahu's real name is not even Benjamin Netanyahu. It's Benjamin Malachowski. Why do they change their names like this? These sneaky motherfuckers. Why do they do it? Americans don't. Muslims don't. Why do these people do it? Why? They're dividing us, folks. They're trying to do the same shit they did to Germany. And you know what? I'm sorry, I may be too based for this shit, because I've done my research. Can y'all not just for a second take into consideration who is responsible for our textbooks and where we were indoctrinated? I'll tell you if you don't know, it was Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell's father, who was in cahoots with, obviously, who? Epstein. And yeah, let me preface this before I get any further into this. I do not make any exceptions for Donald Trump and his relation to that. Because there's only one or two things that could be true, is that he's either scared to release it because he's involved in it, or two, his nuts are being held by Israel, who doesn't want to be exposed for their cooperation with it. Right? If not, tell me something else. Prove to me. I would love you to. Because I hate what's going on, and I would love to think that I am actually the crazy one. But from what I see in my scope of what I fucking analyze and critically think through, it does not point to that, folks. That's not what it points to. And Donald Trump is guilty either way it goes. If he's, one, scared that his name will be put into some shit, that's one thing. He's wrong. He should just come out with it. But two, if it's because he is scared of what Israel might do to him, then he's not as noble as we thought he was when he took that fucking bullet to the fucking ear. Because that's not the same person that's willing to stand up for us. Because if he did that and wants to claim it was God who saved him that day, then cannot God rescue him from the grasp of Israel's government? I want you to tell me that. Because if not, then he's not the right one. And we all fucking got it wrong. Face it. I'm not scared to say that maybe I got it wrong with supporting him. I take accountability. The left seems to have a problem with that, but that could be fixed amongst us without manipulation of a foreign bad actor trying to play upon us. Okay? Right? Can we not come together in our time of tragedy? I saw a video the other day, Netanyahu explaining their advancements in their economy. Great fucking job. I'm glad y'all are doing okay. I'm glad y'all are doing fucking okay. Meanwhile, how's it going for us in America? We're funding y'all, but our life is shit. Anyone not understand that? Is anyone having a hard time digesting that? Do they need more facts? I agree with you. Not in the sense that the whole government or concept of government needs to go, but we need a new one. We for sure as hell need a new one. If somebody lies to me one fucking time, I question their whole credibility forever. You mean to tell me you realize they've lied to you once and you still fucking believe them? We pay these people, folks. They're hired by us. We fund the government. We fund these jobs. And they lie to us. We're paying to be lied to. We're paying to support genocide. And then we claim we're Christian. How? How is that Christian? Jesus was born in Palestine, folks. And who killed him? Who killed him? I want y'all to say it. Who is responsible for the crucifixion of Jesus Christ? You know why I asked that? Because I Googled the other day and it did not say the right answer. And who controls Google? Who controls ChatGPT? Folks, Sam Altman, Jew. It says that the victors write the history. I just got Romans and Jews. Correct. The Romans, via the Romans' hands. But blasphemy was not a crime to the Romans. The Romans could have cared less. It was the Jews lobbying for the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. And they manipulated them the way they manipulate us on a day-to-day basis of through division, conquer through division. They made the Romans think that Jesus Christ's rise to fame and popularity would then create a form of lawlessness within their area. So he needed to be crucified. That's what the Jews pushed. If the president, if he authorizes an assassination to somebody, is the person who assassinates him guilty, or is the president who ordered it? Yes or no? Who is guilty of that death? Tell me. Given the Romans are just as guilty, but guess what? They finally came to Christ. They accepted Jesus Christ as the Son of God. Did they not? Roman Catholicism? Who still hasn't, though? Who still owes an apology to Jesus? It's the Jews. Tell me it's not. I can forgive the Romans. The Jews still talk about in the Talmud how Jesus is burning in hell with shit and feces and piss on him. Go look it up. If you don't fucking believe me, go look it up. What the Jews think about Jesus Christ to this day. It's the same way Benjamin Netanyahu doesn't mind going on and pushing and politicizing and weaponizing his political agenda via the death of Charlie Kirk. He did the same about Jesus, as if they're on our side. Who do you think they will come to slaughter next after we fought all their battles? After we fought all their battles and it's just us left, it's just us and them, do you think for a second that they want to help us? This arrogant group of people who, in order to justify everything they do, is bring up victimhood, create a word, anti-Semitic, when they're not even real Semites. Y'all need to learn y'all's fucking history, folks. Stop being so indoctrinated. They've done this to us. They have destroyed our economy. a prosperous one. Just like they did the Germans. Just like they did the other 109 different countries they've been fucking kicked out of. Over thousands of different times. Because some of those 109 different countries gave them more than one time. They gave forgiveness. You think these people give mercy and forgiveness? You think these people give mercy and fucking forgiveness? Benjamin Netanyahu is willing to let his own people die as hostages because he won't stop his plan of Zionist belief of this third temple of Solomon. Do your fucking research. I won't stand for this. I won't stand for this. We need a new leader. We need a leader that is going to fight for the realness, the real people, and unify the people. Because while we're sitting here arguing whether Charlie Kirk's racist or not, they're taking form against us no matter what. They're abusing us. They're abusing us. And they're preying upon us to dismantle and fight amongst each other because they have more room to operate if we're in chaos. Wake the fuck up. This is why I get so angry at my fellow Christians. Because there's been pastors that have been paid off to promote this rhetoric. Newest comment, brother, we ain't never getting a leader like that. It's a wrap. It doesn't ever get better from here. End of time's approaching at a rapid pace. You're right. You're right. And you know what? Who am I to say with what it looks like very little numbers watching me? But you know what? Guess what? I will try my hardest to be that leader. I'll take it upon me. I'll announce it today. This is a spiritual warfare, and this is a spiritual warfare that I'm not afraid of. I've already tried to kill myself. God saved me because there was a reason that he had purpose for me in life. And there's a reason I didn't die that night. There's a reason I didn't die that night. I've got a video out on my YouTube channel right now that tells you about when I tried to end it myself. I'll be honest. I was weak. But I was awoken. And I'll tell you this. I was blessed with a knowledge that a lot of people are not blessed to have. And I've seen the other side. I know what hell looks like, folks. Don't ever think it don't exist. It does. It does. Hell exists, folks. And it is not good. I'll tell you real quick while I'm on this topic what it looks like just so you can get a freaking idea. It is not a fiery pit. It is not. It is darker than the darkest of darknesses you'll ever fucking experience. It is the absence of all light. There is no light in hell. A fire would be something someone in hell would wish for. No, hell is dark. It's so dark you cannot see what is in front of you. You hear things. You are subjected to nothing but deception as soon as you fall into that pit of darkness. That's it. You cannot even put your hand in front of your face and see it. It is a darkness that is so inconceivable to man's eye that it is so innocuous. You can never understand what hell is like unless you've been there. My camera is freezing, of course. Why is my camera freezing? This is wild. Why is my camera freezing? Yo, I can't make this up. Are people still on here? Oh, this is crazy. I've got to screenshot this. This is... Can y'all see me now? Folks, look, everybody that supports me right now, just know I'm not going to stop on this pursuit, and I will. I will beat the shadow banning. I'll beat this shadow banning, and I'll be a voice for the people. It is the have-nots versus the have-yachts. Let me read some comments. The devil's greatest trick is convincing people that he doesn't exist. Does that not tell you everything you need to know? Let's just think about, you need to post shorts with current events to get past shadow ban. I honestly, like, if you have any insight into helping me get past this, I would love for you to join my team. Send me an email. My email is edwardkilgour1@gmail.com. EDWARDKILGOUR1, the number 1, @gmail.com. Come send me an email on how you can help. I'll pay you. Okay? Because I need people that are real soldiers to help me get past this, because I do have the right views. Okay, folks? I do, because you know what? I am for the common person. I am one still. Remember, I didn't get put upon that pedestal that most entertainers do, even though I had the talent to. Let's face it. I did. I do. Go back and look at my back catalog. Look at my lyricism. Are you kidding me? No, y'all don't know what I said no to, though. You don't. Y'all don't know what I said no to. That I never thought should have to brag about, until this fucking point where I've got to prove to bozos that I didn't sell the fuck out. Like, I didn't have the charisma. Look at me. You're listening to me. Do you not think I'm somebody that would be somebody? I was stopped because I said no. What did I turn down? I'll tell you what I turned down. The last record label offer that I was given said one thing first. I had to delete anything I said negative about Jelly Roll. I soon came to realize I had to delete everything else. If I wanted to continue anything to gain any profit from this, in order for me to live my livelihood just well enough, I needed to delete anything wrong about Jelly Roll, because guess what? He's funded by these Jews. And just watch, he will be somebody that has a take at some point when they want to roll it out. Let's continue. I said, they also, matter of fact, I'll tell you the whole story. I'll tell you the whole story of what happened on my last encounter. I'll tell you from beginning to end. I'll tell you what happened. Let me use the restroom and I'll be right back. 1 second. All right. So let me tell y'all what happened. Because there's actually, on my own YouTube channel, there's a live stream that I posted, I haven't deleted, of me going to this encounter. This encounter was me pulling up. It was me and a few other, Nashville area influencers, artists, musicians, producers. I pull up, okay, I go in there. I'm not gonna name anybody because I don't want to out anybody in this. But so you get there and it's an empty mansion, essentially. It looks like an empty mansion. It's a mansion though. And in the living room, it's a piano table, and that's about it. And a bunch of people sitting crisscross applesauce in a circle. And the way they're treating it is like your first day of school when you're getting to know your classmates, right? But instead, it's like, let's get to know each other. You're a producer, you're a songwriter, you're a singer, whatever. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Go around the circle, right? Then it gets to a point where there's a game that we play. And the game has boxes, right? And the boxes have a number of different outcomes in them. It's all dependent upon where you want to stick your hand into. I'll give y'all some instances of what is in these boxes. One of them has a non-venomous snake in it. Okay. You say, well, what could the harm be, right? It's a snake that's non-venomous. Anybody that's a prankster or whatever, it's like, you know what? Put your hand in it. We'll make content, right? It's not going to kill you, though. But in another box, it's just shards of glass. Then there's another one that has a hamster in it. And then one that has like spaghetti on a plate. And I realized what they were doing at that point. Because regardless of if you put your hand in a box that has a snake, it's not going to bite you and poison you and kill you. But guess what? It'll break your skin. Blood will then fall from that. That is a blood sacrifice, folks. And you can think this is far-fetched as you want it to be. I don't care. I experienced this shit. I said no, and I have a video to prove it on live stream that you can go look on my channel where I saw this and I was freaked out. I had to start live streaming because I was scared that maybe I had something to worry about. But if I had been live streaming, that it would maybe make me feel a little bit better that this is all on tape and you should fear killing me because people are going to see it. To answer this last question, I had two people with me. They were encouraged to leave. I still have those two people that could come on record and say this. So, but nonetheless, this should be something that Kanye tried to tell y'all. And y'all not still realize I'm just verifying that he is correct in what he says because I've faced it. I chose differently just like he did because He was willing to lose his whole billionaire fortune over this. So I was willing to risk shit I ain't even got yet. That's how bad it is. It's how demonic the force is. You feel it. I was willing to go from somebody who still doesn't have shit and say it ain't worth that. It ain't worth my soul. You can feel it when you step into place. It becomes soul sucking. They want to deprive us of our connection to God. Let that resonate, folks. Think about it. Think about it. If they detach us from our God, how easily can they cause destruction? How easily can they become the ones that we look to? You know, it's like the kid in the ghetto, right? That has not seen much success out of his people. But the few successes he's seen were drug dealers. What is he going to be inspired to do? You take a kid who's had the stomach rumblings every fucking night because they're not well nourished. And then you wonder how they suck people in. Who is the only people that run their whole organization off of greed? The power of the dollar. See, we as Americans, we actually care about patriotism, an identifiable measure of where we belong. I don't know what the spaghetti was about. Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you because as soon as my own logical brain readily identified what was going on, I wanted to get the hell out. I wanted to get the hell out. Because I knew, therefore, if I didn't, hell would be where I'm bound to be. Brother, the video's on my live streams. You can go look at it. I got out by showing I was videotaping and asking a very formal question saying, where's the closest spot to get mimosas from out of here? Once you find that video, you'll understand. You'll understand what I was doing out of fear. But I do not fear anymore. I've been saved by God. What can you do to me? Kill me like you did Charlie and send me to my maker? Well, I've been waiting for that day for a long time anyway. How could you scare me? We need more Christians like that. Ones that really mean what they say. Ones that really mean it when they say that they care about going to paradise because they know it's a paradise up there and are not scared of putting their input into actuality and into mobilizing to fix this problem. I'm not scared. Send me to my fucking maker. I'd much rather you send me now than me sell out to you to live on this worthless ass fucking place just so I could die and be shunned to hell. I read a book recently. Sorry, guys. I'm frustrated. As I'm sure you can tell. This takes a lot out of me. But I read a book by Minister Louis Farrakhan. It was called The Secret Relationship of black people and the Jews. And I encourage everybody, not just black folks, to read that book. Because then you will see what Kanye has tried to point out to everybody for a long time now. You know, I put this video out of Charlie Kirk, which seemingly shows him to not be a racist. And then I realized that it continued to cause more division. So I took a day off of social media. I took a day off from all influences outside of my own thoughts and beliefs to kind of recenter myself and make sure that I was on the godly path, right? Because I know for one thing, folks, if anything, what you could surmise is that God did intend people to live together in peaceful coexistence. That's what Jesus taught, essentially. And there was only one group that didn't agree with him, that were so self-righteous as to not believe that this should be the way in which we live, because they felt threatened. And their feeling of being threatened is resonating amongst the globe right now as we speak, because their deplorable actions amongst society, other humans, whether you believe it or not, okay, Palestinians and the Gazans are other people under God, in which they want to just somehow justifiably kill all of them. It's already been announced by the League of Nations, the United Nations. Everybody is saying this is a fucking genocide except for one person. Benjamin, I'll call him his real name, Benjamin Milikowski, who he changed his name to Benjamin Netanyahu. That's not his real name he was born with. Look it up. Any notable people from that circle that ended up making it? Yeah, there was one. I'm not going to put them out here on Front Street, though. I'm going to pray for them and allow them to seek the light on their own accord. Because I don't want anybody any longer crucifying people that are just victims. I feel like these are victims, folks. I feel like these are victims, the people that fall into this. It's easy for them to perpetrate people in hardship. That's why they prey upon those people. Why do you not think they pick black kids in the ghetto? Because what other option do they have, folks? What option do they have? We've made mistakes as a government in America of how we've treated black people, and we've got to own up to that shit. Period. They funded the Industrial Revolution. Simple as that. Indians were compensated. So was everyone else. I'm not saying that this means that we need to just expel a bunch of money into African Americans for for slavery. But I will say this, though, that it would be served well if we did that more than we invested into Israel. right? Why do we have veterans that fought for our country homeless on the streets? But Israel has fucking healthcare for everybody. I'll let y'all let that sink in for a second. Tell me how that makes sense. How do we have homeless veterans on the streets, but Israel's got a booming economy, great fucking healthcare for every individual, and no one's starving? Motherfuckers, we got people starving in America. We got people starving in this country to go fight a war for people that's doing well. Wake the fuck up. What do we not get? I love everybody that watches my chat. Everybody in America. I hope y'all can see me as the true patriot I am and how much I care about this. I've seen so much devastation in our own country. Of people working so fucking hard and cannot afford their own family they built because we send our money to people that want to genocide innocent civilians. How do you explain this to me? They have preyed upon our word of God to justify their actions. That is blasphemy. That's blasphemy, folks. Because guess what? Y'all don't realize we're next? Y'all don't realize after we fought their whole fucking battles, after we do that, then where do they go? You think they think we're noble enough? Look at their text. Look at what they say about us. Look at when Christians go to Israel, they get spit on. They get spit on. They said Jesus is rotting in hell. Our King, our Savior, who was nice enough to die for even the sins of them. It's not right. For I know better. I know there's too many good people in America for us to be racist. Has our government dropped the ball? Yes, it has. Okay? But who's played the biggest role in our fucking government? A malicious society outside of ours. it up. What do we gain out of this relationship? Some bullshit intelligence that false flags us, that tells us they've got weapons of mass destruction when they don't, to bring us into their fucking battles, that we have no place of being in. We were cool in Qatar. We're cool in Qatar. It's gonna be our brothers and sisters who go fight their fucking fight. Meanwhile, they got healthcare for everybody. Nobody's living in poverty. Nobody is facing racial injustice there. We are. We are suffering because of one foreign entity, folks. Listen, nobody really, to answer your question, nobody really was. That's the thing. Nobody really was until they decided to impute their tactics into our media. They've been doing it. They've been capitalizing on this, folks, since the first time that they could utilize our media to put black people against white people. The cops in America, I hate to inform you, they kill more white people on average than black people, folks. The cops kill, now that is a population statistical analysis that you'd have to do for yourself, of course. There's more white people than black people in America. But the publication of it was driven by a people who had an interest in it creating a divide. How do you not realize it? If you're an American, walk amongst the streets. I encourage you, walk amongst the streets. Do you feel violated by any other fucking race on a day-to-day basis? No, they're telling us no. They're making us think that. We are fine in America, but America needs to have time to handle our own problems within America. What the fuck can some other government that's not here tell us about ourselves when we walk these streets? Of course, incidents happen. Of course they do. They always will. But to turn us against each other. Oh, I'm sorry, guys, but to turn us against each other is what they fucking want. This ain't even me talking. This is God. Because I think it's easy to surmise that God's fed up. I'm nobody different than you guys. I'm you. I'm you. And I'm telling you, this ain't right. We're gonna kill each other. I love all races of people. In our country, I love everybody. But when you take a second to analyze the evidence, they're trying to divide us. It's so hard. Because I know the real problem. It's not our own people. We are good people in America. We all have that in us to be good people and all get along. This is an experiment, folks. And we've been damn good at least showing that we can figure it out somehow. But right now, they are testing us. They're trying to see what they can get away with, and they are doing it. It hurts my soul. Because we know that slavery was wrong. We all can especially agree to that, right? And I think that every American can agree with that today. So this emphasis on making us a racist place, it's just infallible, folks. It's infallible because I think that the only thing still driving a race divide is an un-American group of people. They're not here. They're not on the day, every day with us. Look, I will tell y'all. I have been stuck on the side of the road, and amongst this whole immigration crisis, you know, it was Mexicans that helped me out. Like, I'm just so heartbroken by this, y'all. And I hope y'all are too. It's time to wake up. No, I don't want to open borders. Not that at all. No. My point is that they have created this thing that makes us look at each other differently. Okay? I don't want to open up borders because I think that you should get into this country the right way. So I'm not making excuses for Mexican Americans when I say this. I'm just saying that Mexicans are good people. We shouldn't look at them any different, but you should also recognize, yes, you are cutting in line. There's a way to get in this country correctly. No, but I'm not saying what you're saying, though. Listen, I'm just saying that we need to come together closely and fight off the outside actors that are telling us how we should think. That's it. I don't think you should be here illegally because there's a line. There's people that get here legally and do the right thing. I don't think you should cut in front of those people. That's why it's easy to say that illegal immigration is wrong, because there's people that do it the right way and you're taking from them. It's just like gun control. You should not take because we're going to have to utilize this, folks, probably very soon, is our right to bear arms. You should not take that away from us because some people do the wrong fucking thing. Because guess what? There's more guns in America as there are people. You cannot take those from us because merely what would happen is the people that have no good intentions with them will be the only ones with them, and then we, therefore, shall have no way to defend ourselves. Listen, if anybody wants to question me on my ideals of America, I challenge you too. Because I think I do happen to have it figured out. You know why? I took the time to. I walked with every culture. I know what America is and what it should be. And I'm sorry if you're somebody that wants to leave in the comments something derogative about me because you don't agree with it. You must be one of them too then, is what I gotta say. Because it should be obvious for the real American patriot to pick up and understand what the fuck's being put down. I'm gonna fight just like Benjamin thinks he's fighting. But I'm gonna fight against it. See, I was told I let a new manager manage me for just a little short time, right? You know what this manager told me? I needed to shut my mouth about the LGBTQ and about Jews. That's what they told me. Aside from the meeting that I already made y'all privy to, this is what a new manager told me. If I wanted to make it big, I needed to shut my fucking mouth about the Jews and about the LGBTQ. You know what? Fuck that. Because I'm here to say fuck both of those entities. I'm sorry, I accept you if you're gay, but if you want to push an LGBTQ agenda on my niece and nephew, then fuck you. Not pushing that agenda on my nieces and nephews. I don't got no kids, but I know what it feels like as an uncle. And just because you don't have the ability to populate and make your own kids does not give you the granted authority to prey upon ours. Because you prey upon mine. Yeah, I will tell you. I will come down with so much lawlessness that looks even more like the government of Israel than the government of Israel does. But the point of the matter is that makes them wrong is that they're doing it out of greed, out of hunger for power and land, and they're building of the third temple of Solomon. Look it up. Stop thinking that I'm spitting conspiracy anti-Semitic rhetoric. I'm spitting facts, people, facts. And if you think you can debate me, then do it. I challenge you. Any one of you, bring it to the table. I'm not Charlie. God rest his soul, but I'm not him. I'm here to show a form and a fucking a division of Christians that are going to fight. Because God helps those who helps themselves. No, we do not need the third temple. Fuck that. No, we don't. No, we don't. And I will never subscribe to that ever. Because the way they're going about building that temple is a disgrace and it is blasphemous. God did not create us for this way of going about it. God didn't visualize as just the created one, the chosen ones, or da-da-da-da. No, he sent his only begotten son to die for our sins. Yes, us, the Gentiles. It's false, my friend. It's false. You must have missed Revelations 3:9. The synagogue of Satan. It's real. Our God did not create us for that. And God especially did not send Jesus down to a land on this earth for it to be obliterated. Israel's not important. What the fuck do you mean? Israel was created by wealthy Europeans. The fuck are you talking about? Do your fucking research. No, my brother, you're lost. You're lost. No, you're not. No, you're not. The Bible does not use the phrase third temple, but prophecies in Ezekiel, Daniel, Zechariah, and 2 Thessalonians. Look. Listen. Thank you. I like that last comment because that's more feasible. Maybe you're right on that, okay? But let's look at the way that the Israeli government is going about that. And can we say that that is the way in which God would intend us to do anything? I mean, it goes so against, it just shows hypocrisy. At the end of the day, it shows hypocrisy. If a group of people keep leaning on the fact that they are victims, okay, because of the Holocaust, then why would they go about anything the same way in which that were done? I think all Christians would take that and learn that there shouldn't be that mass genocide. Like, we're all God's created people. At the end of the day, we are. If it has to play out, then I would say that I think it's clear what the synagogue of Satan really means. I'm sorry if you're of Jewish belief, and I'm not here to say every Jewish person acts evilly, but geez, come on. Let's just look at the facts, people. Look at the facts. I've got some more. Hold on. Let me pee again. Look. You know how they say history repeats itself, right? Listen to this speech. Just take a second to listen to it, really absorb it, and tell me this doesn't speak to today. That's all I'm going to say, okay?
The Jewish question, I have this to say, it is a shameful spectacle.
I know.
See how the whole democratic world
How this will be digested at first. But let's
In
just...
connection with the Jewish question, I have this to say. It is a shameful spectacle to see how the whole democratic world is oozing sympathy for the poor, tormented Jewish people, but remains hard-hearted and obdurate when it comes to helping them, which is surely, in view of its attitude, an obvious duty. The arguments that are brought up as an excuse for not helping them actually speak for us Germans and Italians. For this is what they say. 1, we, that is the democracies, are not in a position to take in the Jews. Yet in these empires there are not 10 people to the square kilometer, while Germany, with her 135 inhabitants to the square kilometer, is supposed to have room for them. 2, they assure us we cannot take them unless Germany is prepared to allow them a certain amount of capital to bring with them as immigrants. For hundreds of years, Germany was good enough to receive these elements, although they possessed nothing except infectious political and physical diseases. What they possess today, they have by a very large extent gained at the cost of the less astute German nation by the most reprehensible manipulations. Today, we are merely paying this people what it deserves. When the German nation was, thanks to the inflation instigated and carried through by Jews, deprived of the entire savings which it had accumulated in years of honest work, when the rest of the world took away the German nation's foreign investments, when we were divested of the whole of our colonial possessions, these philanthropic considerations evidently carried little noticeable weight with democratic statesmen. Today I can only assure these gentlemen that thanks to the brutal education with which the democracies favored us for 15 years, we are completely hardened to all attacks of sentiment. After more than 800,000 children of the nation had died of hunger and undernourishment at the close of the war,
After how many people died of hunger and malnourishment, okay, it's been shown, a predominant theme, that the Jewish people love to starve out their fucking enemy. Has that not been made clear by now?
witnessed almost 1 million head of milking cows being driven away from us in accordance with the cruel paragraphs of a dictate which the humane democratic apostles of the world forced upon us as a peace treaty. We witnessed over 1 million German prisoners of war being retained in confinement for no reason at all for a whole year after the war was ended. We witnessed over 1.5 million Germans being torn away from all that they possessed in the territories lying on our frontiers and being whipped out with practically only what they wore on their backs. We had to endure having millions of our fellow countrymen torn from us without their consent and without their being afforded the slightest possibility of existence. I could supplement these examples with dozens of the most cruel kind. For this reason, we ask to be spared all sentimental talk. The German nation does not wish its interests to be determined and controlled by any foreign nation, France to the French, England to the English, America to the Americans, and Germany to the Germans. We are resolved to prevent the settlement in our country of a strange people which was capable of snatching for itself all the leading positions in the land, and to oust it, for it is our will to educate our own nation for these leading positions. We have hundreds of thousands of very intelligent children of peasants and of the working classes. We shall have them educated. In fact, we have already begun, and we wish that one day they, and not the representatives of an alien race, may hold the leading positions in the state together with our educated classes. Above all, German culture name alone shows, is German and not Jewish, and therefore its management and care will be entrusted to members of our own nation. If the rest of the world cries out with a hypocritical mien against this barbaric expulsion from Germany of such an irreplaceable and culturally eminently valuable element, we can only be astonished at the conclusions they draw from this situation. But how thankful they must be that we are releasing these precious apostles of culture and placing them at the disposal of the rest of the world. In accordance with their own declarations, they cannot find a single reason to excuse themselves for refusing to receive this most valuable race in their own countries. Nor can I see a reason why the members of this race should be imposed upon the German nation, while in the States, which are so enthusiastic about these splendid people, their settlement should suddenly be refused with every imaginable excuse. I think that the sooner this problem is solved, the better, for Europe cannot settle down until the Jewish question is cleared up. It may very well be possible that sooner or later an agreement on this problem may be reached in Europe, even between those nations which otherwise do not so easily come together. The world has sufficient space for settlements, but we must once and for all get rid of the opinion that the Jewish race was only created by God for the purpose of being in a certain percentage a parasite living on the body and the productive work of other nations. The Jewish race will have to adapt itself to sound constructive activity as other nations do, or sooner or later it will succumb to a crisis of an inconceivable magnitude. One thing I should like to say on this day, which may be memorable for others as well as for us Germans, in the course of my life, I have very often been a prophet and have usually been ridiculed for it. During the time of my struggle for power, it was in the first instance the Jewish race which only received my prophecies with laughter when I said that I would one day take over the leadership of the state, and with it that of the whole nation, and that I would then, among many other things, settle the Jewish problem. Their laughter was uproarious, but I think that for some time now they've been laughing on the other side of their face. Today I will once more be a prophet. If the international Jewish financiers in and outside Europe should succeed in plunging the nations once more into a world war, then the result will not be the Bolshevization of the earth and thus the victory of Jewry, but the annihilation of the Jewish race in Europe. The nations are no longer willing to die on the battlefield so that this unstable international race may profiteer from a war or satisfy its Old Testament vengeance. The Jewish watchword, workers of the world unite, will be conquered by a higher realization, namely, workers of all classes and of all nations, recognize your common enemy.
Recognize your common fucking enemy. That's all I need to leave on with that. You kidding me? You called all this shit a long time ago. Tell me, what the Israelis, what the Jews, what do they benefit from society other than things that benefit their people more than everyone else? Palantir, Jewish owned, spying upon American people. ChatGPT, Sam Altman, Jewish owned. Every fucking thing that gives us information has been Jewish owned, folks. And you mean to tell me that there was no fucking incentive for them to do this? There was no plan? That's for you to tell me I'm retarded and for me to accept that. That in which I will not. These people have preyed upon us, and they've preyed upon every other society that they've ever intermingled with. And I don't care what you say. Call me anti-Semitic. Okay. I am. Now what? Now what? I'm going to take away the little bit of power that you have to keep me from having the freedom of speech, because that's what you do. When you don't want to emphasize or elaborate on what you're doing, you just want to shut people up. That's why you didn't allow media from outside entities to come into your country. Right? Why was no outside media allowed to come in to Israel to report what was really going on? If you didn't want to just control a narrative. What's crazy is the hypocrisy of you fucking Jews. To say how bad the Holocaust was, yet you're committing one. And then to sit there at a fucking League of Nations event and be on your cell phone? I can't make this up, y'all. I cannot make this up. As a matter of fact, we'll go to it. We'll go to it right now. We'll go to it right now. Let's see. Is Hardy Boy racist? Yeah, I'll let everyone else comment on that. Cause that's exactly what a Jewish person would want to do with me, right? Is label me as that, just like you did Kanye. But let's look at facts, y'all. Since we're here, and this person wants to say I'm fucking, okay. Yeah. Let's see. Pretty sure I've marked this video to where I wouldn't forget it. I'm about to hit you with some fucking facts.
When it comes to Israel, Mr. President, on September 9th,
Let's see, after all this money, oh boy, after all this money we've sent to these motherfuckers, let's see what they do when they're confronted by a bunch of different nations. Let's see, do they not throw us under the bus for something they created in the first place?
Israel carried out a precise and targeted strike in Doha. The strike targeted Hamas leaders who for years have planned and directed attacks against Israel, many times making these directives from the luxury confines in Doha. These terrorists were the sole target of the operation. The main
Hold on, let me get to where he first starts. Hold on, let's go to the beginning. Let's see.
Thank you, Mr. President Chris, for an aggressor and this afternoon in this council. I thank you. I thank the representative Pakistan for the statement. The representative of Israel has asked the floor to make a further statement. I give them
Thank you, Mr. President. You know, distinguished colleague from Pakistan wanted to read the statement, he could have done it at the beginning of the session.
Okay.
But I want to refer to your words. You know, maybe you got.
Let's see what they
offended
got to
from the
say
words of
after
my
we send
speech,
them all that
and
money.
I apologize for that.
What's their
But I make sure
what's
that
their
my speech is
explanation?
stick to the facts. And the fact is that Osama bin Laden was killed in Pakistan, and no one condemned about a precise and targeted strike in Doha. The strike targeted Hamas leaders who for years
Oh shit, they cut it out.
directed attacks.
Holy
against
shit.
Israel.
They cut it out. They fucking cut out what he said. And for real, y'all saw that in real time. Watch this. Let me show y'all the real footage. Let me show y'all the real footage. Oh my God. They threw us under the bus, folks.
Making this directive.
They cut it out. Wow. Wow. Okay. Wow. This is fucking crazy. I've got it recorded on my phone, by the way, because I knew this could happen. Oh my gosh, you cannot find it. Oh. Hold on. I'm gonna have to send it to. Watch this, guys. Look, I'm having to do this. I'm having to do this.
Oh my God, watch these motherfuckers. After all that money we done sent they bitch ass. Look what they say at the UN.
At the beginning of the session. But I want to refer to your words. You know, maybe you got offended from the words of my speech, and I apologize for that. But I make sure that in my speech I stick to the facts. And the fact is that Osama bin Laden was killed in Pakistan. And no one condemned the US. And when other countries in this council attack terrorists, no one condemns them. And that is standards.
Wow, really? Really?
And the standards you apply on yourself.
Wow. So after all that time we've been funding y'all, y'all get to the fucking United Nations and you blame us for fucking taking out Osama when y'all are the ones who said they have weapons of mass destruction? Does that not show y'all the censorship? I had to record that on my fucking phone and airdrop it to my computer to show y'all because of its non-existence now. How is it not evident? And then, since we're on it, how about this? Oh, y'all want even more evidence of how they have tried to fucking take money from us and they could care less about any of this shit. Tell me that this doesn't show the lack of empathy from these folks, okay?
Yo, he's eating his ass up. Watch. Watch, I promise y'all this ain't AI. I swear to God, this is not AI.
Of madness. It is the conduct of an extremist government unborn by immunity, by impunity.
Look at him. Look at him, y'all. Look at him. Ah, you look like... Oh, does that not tell y'all anything?
I guarantee you, that motherfucker was on his phone texting BB Netanyahu like Algeria's next. Look, I don't ever want it to ever be considered that one group, okay? is just inherently evil. Okay? That's a generalization, and I like to stray away from that. And thank God there are some Israelis that have been standing up to their government saying this is wrong. But I will not allow anybody to come on my live stream and try to piss on my leg and call it fucking rain. You got another thing coming. I now stand for the American people. And yeah, you're going to have to Charlie Kirk me to stop me, because I'm not scared of death. I stand for everybody. White people, black people, Muslims. Everybody, anybody that's not with the shit that Israel's on. That's what I'll say. Criticize me. I don't care. I'm going to fight for my people. Y'all will not collapse my government. And I dare y'all to fuck